Every morning, countless people around the world reach for that familiar, comforting cup of coffee. The warmth in your hands, the aroma in the air, that first sip, it feels like the perfect start to the day. But here's the twist. For many, that same cup of coffee might be the silent reason why the scale hasn't moved in weeks or even months. I'm not here to tell you to give up coffee entirely, far from it. In fact, coffee can be a powerful ally in your weight loss journey. But there's a big difference between coffee that works for you and coffee that works against you. Today, we're going to dive deep into how your morning drink might be sabotaging your progress, and exactly how to turn it into a fat-burning tool. Let's start with the basics. Black coffee, in its pure form, is virtually calorie-free. It can slightly boost your metabolism, improve mental alertness, and even enhance physical performance. That's why so many fitness enthusiasts swear by it before a workout. But here's where the trap begins. Most people don't drink plain black coffee. They dress it up with creamers, sugars, flavored syrups, whipped cream, caramel drizzle, and before you know it, your morning coffee is closer to a milkshake than a metabolism booster. One flavored latte from your favorite coffee shop can contain anywhere from 250 to 500 calories, depending on size and ingredients. If you're having one of those every day, that's the equivalent of eating an extra meal without even realizing it. And because these calories come in liquid form, they don't satisfy you the way solid food does. You end up eating just as much as you normally would, on top of the coffee, which leads to a calorie surplus and weight gain. The problem isn't just calories. High-sugar coffee drinks cause your blood sugar to spike and then crash. That crash makes you feel tired, cranky, and hungry, often leading to cravings for more sugar or carbs. Over time, this roller coaster effect can mess with your hunger hormones, making it harder to control your appetite. If your mornings start with this kind of blood sugar chaos, you're setting yourself up for a day full of food struggles. But coffee doesn't have to be the villain. With the right changes, it can actually help you burn fat. The first step is awareness. Pay attention to what you're adding to your coffee. A spoonful of sugar here, a splash of flavored creamer there, it all adds up. Swap out sugar for natural sweeteners like stevia or monk fruit. Replace artificial creamers with unsweetened almond milk, oat milk, or a small splash of heavy cream. You'll still get that creamy texture, but without the sugar bomb. Here's another tip. Think about when you're drinking your coffee. Many people have their coffee on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, especially if it's loaded with sugar. This is the fastest way to trigger that blood sugar spike and crash. Instead, try having a balanced breakfast first, something with protein, healthy fats, and fiber. Once your blood sugar is stable, then enjoy your coffee. You'll feel more energized, avoid the crash, and keep your appetite under control. There's also a trend you might have heard of, bulletproof coffee. This involves blending coffee with healthy fats like coconut oil or grass-fed butter. The fats slow digestion, keep you feeling full, and provide steady energy. But here's the catch. Bulletproof coffee should complement a healthy diet, not replace nutrient-rich meals. If you use it strategically, it can be a useful tool for managing hunger, especially if you practice intermittent fasting. Let's talk results. A client of mine, we'll call her Emily, had been stuck at the same weight for over 6 months. She was eating healthy, exercising regularly, and doing everything right. But she was also drinking 2 large vanilla lattes every single day. Each latte had around 350 calories, which meant she was consuming an extra 700 calories daily, just from coffee. Once she switched to black coffee with a splash of almond milk and stevia, she started losing weight again, dropping nearly 10 pounds in 2 months without changing anything else. Another example is Mark, a busy professional who relied on sweetened iced coffee to get through long workdays. He didn't think much of it until we calculated that his coffee habit was adding up to over 1,000 extra calories a week. We swapped his sugary iced coffee for cold brew with unsweetened almond milk and cinnamon. Not only did his energy improve, but he also noticed his cravings for afternoon snacks almost disappeared. The takeaway here is simple: liquid calories count, and they can make or break your weight loss progress. People often obsess over the food on their plate but forget about what's in their cup. Soda, juice, energy drinks, they're obvious culprits. But coffee? That's the sneaky one, because it's wrapped in the comforting illusion of being just a drink. If you want to maximize fat burning, focus on these 3 steps. First, strip your coffee down to its simplest form. Learn to enjoy it without sugar, or with minimal natural sweeteners. Second, choose your creamers wisely. Go for unsweetened plant-based options or a small amount of real cream. Third, pay attention to timing. Pair your coffee with a balanced meal or drink it mid-morning to avoid sugar crashes. You might be wondering, will I actually get used to less sugar in my coffee? The answer is yes. Your taste buds adapt over time. Start by cutting your sugar in half for a week, then cut it in half again the next week. Soon, you'll start noticing flavors in the coffee you never picked up on before: nutty, fruity, chocolatey notes that were masked by all the sweetness. And here's something interesting: high-quality coffee beans, freshly ground and brewed, taste dramatically better than the burnt, bitter coffee many people are used to. When your coffee tastes good on its own, you don't feel the need to cover it up with sugar and syrups. Experiment with different brewing methods: French press, pour over, AeroPress, cold brew, to find your favorite. It's also important to recognize the bigger picture. If you're leaning on coffee because you're constantly tired, it might be time to address the root causes: poor sleep, high stress, or inadequate nutrition. Caffeine can mask fatigue, but it doesn't fix it. Long-term health and fat loss require balance in all areas: sleep, diet, exercise, and stress management. So here's your challenge: tomorrow morning, take a hard look at your coffee. Is it fueling your goals, or is it quietly working against them? Make one small change: less sugar, a cleaner creamer, better timing, and see how you feel. Give it 2 weeks. Pay attention to your energy, your cravings, and your progress. You might be surprised by how much difference 1 cup can make. Coffee isn't the enemy, but the way you drink it can be. Use it wisely, and it can be the ally you need to finally see the results you've been chasing. Small habits create big changes, and your morning cup is a habit worth mastering. In future videos, I'll uncover more hidden habits that might be stalling your fat loss, foods and drinks that seem harmless but could be slowing your progress. The more you know, the more control you have over your results. And that starts with the choices you make today, one sip at a time.